When it came to the wedding sequence, I was overwhelmed because we were filming in St James's Church, which I've been to many a time, and it's stunning, right in the heart of London. They managed to be able to get all of us ready, all of us in costume, and then for the very first time that we ran it, it was on camera. And, me, Charitha, Simone and Shelley were all waiting at the end, and everyone was in there, and they hadn't even seen Charitha in the dress. And then, the service sort of played out as it would. And it was an amazing moment, and one that I will never forget.
I, as an actor, just felt so grateful. I remember calling up Chris being like, thank you for giving me this. Thank you for giving me these scenes. Thank you for showing the growth in Edwina.
Well, when you read it, the wedding scene in particular, there wasn't as much dialogue. It was a lot of stage directions of what was happening, the different looks. When Kate walks up the aisle, when Edwina walks up the aisle, all the bangles falling on the floor. It's hard to imagine how it's going to be shot and what it's going to look like. And then when you come on the day, it's really exciting to see the crew and, our amazing director, Tom Verica, and our DOP and cameramen all have a discussion of how it's all going to be shot. And I remember particularly me and Johnny was saying how vulnerable and scary it felt walking down that aisle. It felt like a real wedding with everyone watching you. You feel incredibly exposed. And you can prep as much as you want and come to the table with loads of different ideas, but as soon as you're on set and you're together, you kind of let it go and you're in the moment.
We'll have rehearsals. I'll work with the actors, traditionally on a scene like this, to really kind of talk through the beats and moments, because on the day there'll be, 500 people circling, asking questions, and I really want to make sure that we've tended to the beats and the moments of the script and the requirements of that to work with the actors, so that we've asked ourselves those questions, and then we can play on the day about the spontaneity of what always happens once you get on set and once you start filming, because there is a spontaneous nature that I like to preserve when we kind of get on there, because the actors will bring something, the environment brings its element, and once everybody gets the costumes on and everything, it takes on a life of its own.
When I get the scene or the scripts, you learn the fuck out of it. That's my technique. And I know sometimes there's an attitude that people don't want to be too trapped in the lonely lines. And yeah, we'll get onto set. I love this bit. So we do just a line read, literally we'll just stand around and we'll just say the words. It's not so much about the performance, it's about just getting the lines out. We know the setup. Then the director, and in this case it was the glorious Tom Verica, but he'll then tell us his idea maybe, but he's so cool and open to but we'll see what makes it work with you guys as well, if you guys have ideas. I sort of love being told what to do though. I sort of really love being given I love it. Then we'll try that, see if it works a couple of times, and then we'll do a crew show, and that's when all the crew come in, and then we've got beautiful Drew and Pete, and they're putting down marks on the floor when we're doing the block, and obviously sound are there to see where we're walking about, see what their journey is going to be. Makeup are there to make sure that we're not doing gambolts and roly-polies around the gravel, so we don't end up with cuts and scrapes on our hairs, or see what elements we're up against. And then we start filming.
I think people maybe think of actors as people who maybe it's because they're called actors, because they're always acting, and you think that you're doing lots of things all the time. And actually, a lot of it is about actually sort of trying to not do stuff and trying to sort of let things happen rather than try and make things happen. So it's like being a living puppet, and I think that could sound sort of horrible in the sense that you're being told what to do, but actually if you relax into it, it's very nice. You just sort of finish a take and you'll have someone adjusting your bow tie, and someone else will start fiddling with your hair, and someone will tell you, by the way, that line, it's this word, and then someone will move you this way, and it's actually quite nice. It's quite a nice feeling. It's like being a living puppet.
You guys through now and get it.
So if you saw the wedding scene on the page, it's an awful lot of stage direction. So what that tells you straight away is this is a story that's going to be told predominantly visually. And why is that going to happen? Because we all know what the stakes are by this point in the season's narrative arc. Will they, won't they? how much the rest of us have got riding on the success or failure of the marriage. You know, everybody knows the stakes at that point. So it's almost like, it's like a ballet, it's like a dance. And you have to know what your dance moves are, where you fit into the routine, and what the impact of a movement over here will have filtering down through to you here.
If I'm honest, you don't have to try to put yourself there mentally because all the work is done for you. It really felt like a wedding.
It felt a bit like you could just give yourself over to the day and the situation that was, which was get dressed. I mean, that's what a wedding feels like. You know, you get into your finest. There's a sort of shared experience, but there was something about walking down the aisle with Charithra and seeing Johnny at the altar and just thinking, oh my goodness, they're about to get married. And for the first few takes, I just felt very shaky. That's what it would have been like for Mary to have been allowed back into the club, the ton. It would have been immense, and I felt that. So actually, the process-wise, as an actor, I had a lot for free. I was given a lot for free that day.
In the moment of the wedding, you just have this visual feast of a dance of emotion and tension and dramatic build-up, and will they, won't they, and then deflation, and then you get all the outworkings of that just ratchets it up a gear and takes us somewhere else again.